Chapter 4 of the Acquisition Community Connection. Content management. The communities are only as valuable as the current relevance and reliability of the information they contain with the participation of their members. The chapter and addresses our content management philosophy and the operating process of the Acquisition Community Connection to support the content management. We are starting from the scratch to develop the risk management program for the multi-billion-dollar project. Big undertaking, lots of work, extensively used with your website to make sure that we are not reinventing the wheel. Acquisition Community Connection operating principle is to ensure the timely access, relevant, and reliable content and Viva designated community center content management roles as described in Table 3. Establish content management processes. The active participation of community members without good content management processes and placing the community that quickly becomes the dumping ground and eventually graveyard of the content useful to no one. The community leaders and content editors, facilitators, subject matter experts are reasonable for the managing content, identifying knowledge and gaps, ensuring the overall quality of the community content responsive to the members. The intent are designed for the communities and also encourage maximum party participation by the members and share the contributed content, asking and responding to the question, provide feedback to their community. Community members play a critical role in helping to keep the content fresh and relevant. List of both contribution discussion roll up to the top level of the community, making it easy for the editors, the SMEs, and the community members to view the track of the relevancy and currents of any of the knowledge objects. There should be a big goal to every community to monitor the discussion, especially to ensure that they are all answered in a timely manner. Unanswered questions have negative impact on the credibility and morale of the community, so the editor is strongly encouraged to coordinate with the answer if known and forthcoming for community members or SMEs. A feedback button on every page of the Acquisition Community Connection allows the members users of the site to easily report broken links, update outdated information, and other issues related to the content. The feedback is tied to the unique page identification and making it easily quickly to resolve problems in the page and fix content. https://acquisition community connection /da.dau.mil/tutorial feedback HTML. For the Acquisition Community Connection tutorial, the use of the feedback button, this is other tutorials participating in the community are available. The Acquisition Community Connection DAU Mail user training. The Acquisition Community Connection support team monitors the community to ensure the quality of defensive acquisition. University leaders reserve the right to take communities offline. They are not maintained fall below the minimum level of quality, do not directly support the defensive acquisition workforce, and is work process, product quality will be measured in terms of currently material accuracy of the material activity within the community, page views, the number of the contribution attachments and downloads and members, etc. You see a glossary of the defensive acquisition acronyms and terms. Graphic content categories. There are 4 categories of content within the Acquisition Community community. The topic page, contribution, conversation, question and answers, personal profiles. Topic pages houses not only the explanatory text of the given subject, but also contributes to the conversation relatively to the same object. Contributions are made of the variety of types, which each of the containing the contextual description of the classify the value of the contribution, and if appropriate, one or more of the attachment to add the further clarification. There are 16 default types of contribution. However, these types are going to be modified or deleted or new types created to meet each community needs. Conversations are self-explanatory with one small addition, like contributions. Conversations may include attachments. Each acquisition communication account holder has a personal profile page automatically created with an account as improved and contains the information supplied by the user when he or she applies for the account, the name, the email address, the telephone number, the bio, and etc. The user contribution conversation network activity is displayed on his or her profile page. All these types of contents are referred to as knowledgeable objects. Chapter 4, Process for Contributing Content. The process for the member content submission varies according to the community workspace. For the following minimum business rules for capturing, validating, and refreshing expiring content are required. All contribution comments are attributed to the individual. Acquisition Community Connection does not allow any anonymous contributions. Users must have a valid account and must be logged into the suggest contributions, ask questions, respond to questions. See default permission in Table 3. Knowledge objects have required minimum set associated descriptive information, metadata. Those fields marked with the asterisks are required to be completed. Suggested contributions are pending until they are reviewed, either approved or denied by an editor. The contribution will be not available for reviewing until the community unless it approves. Editors of restricted workspace decide appropriate permission needed to contribute the content of their spaces, and this is responsible for the content editors to ensure the public accessibility content that the approval for the posting and the fact releasable general public and is not restricted in any way, um, non-foreign or foreign, limited distribution, etc. Permission needed for the contribution content. Access right and the permission refer to the level of the functionality that the user groups written with groups have within the any given acquisition community connection. Acquisition connection community chief editors assign the access rights to individual members of the group. However, the editors and the SME and the core's permission are granted with the concurrence via the community of participation leader or primary editor. The default levels of the access are described in Table 3. Unique roles can be coordinated with the acquisition community connection support team on the case of the case basis. However, there are no circumstances may users contribute any type of content anonymously or as guests. Guests are those individuals who either do not have an account with the acquisition community connection who have not logged in. Guests can view the public content on the site but cannot suggest contributions, view personal contact information. To join the acquisition community connection, a user must complete an application, must be a member of the Department of to join the acquisition communication, a user must complete an application, must be a member of the Department of Defense government and the Department of Defense supporting defense industries. Account eligibility in Chapter 2 requests for accounts are evaluated, either approved or denied by a member at the acquisition communication support team, communication connection support team. After obtaining an account, users can choose to become a member of the community or communities with the acquisition community connection. Typically, community membership is provided with the additional access rights and permissions. Table 3 defaults access rights and permissions. Only members logged into the site can view the other members' profiles, personal contact information not viewable by the guest login option. All out the personal contact information. Access accounts, members provide them with a weighted network with other practitioners to follow the mission. More seasoned professional login accounts have excessive individual privileges as described in Table 3. Table 3 default accesses, rights, and permissions. The group name is guests. Guests are casual surfers, members of the acquisition community connection who are not logged in the groups. The default permission allowed with them to view the community's topic, contribution, quick questions, responses, links, highlights, relationships located in the spaces option, open to the general public. They also can request membership to the acquisition community connection. Their ability to participate is restricted along with their ability to view the account profiles. Accounts are those that have requested met the requirements for the membership of the acquisition community connection. They may not or may not have belong to this community of practice, but if they do, they still are considered an account when they are traveled outside the community of practice. The default permission for the accounts allow them to participate in a high degree of level than guests. Accounts have all access rights and permissions assigned to the guests, plus who logged in, and accounts can view the membership of the profiles, contacts. They can request to become a member of the certificate community of practice, subscribe to unscribed content, updates, email pages to people. Accounts can also suggest contribution, question, response, relationships, suggest changes to the existing items. They can edit those items that they have suggested and they have been approved by any editor or C editor. Community member. Community members are account who have requested and have been granted membership in the community of practice. They have slightly evaluated permissions within the confines of the certificate. The community of practice of which they are members. The default permission of the community members include all those in the account, plus the following editing of your personal preferences profile and editing new questions and responses without editorial approval. The core members are functionally a level slightly higher than a community member, inheriting all permissions of that community member, plus following additional new topics, comments, and links, and deleting links without editor approval. Editors are usually the highest ranking members inside a certificate community of practice, inherit all functionality of core members, plus they can approve all pending content types of the community's membership requests. They have proper permission to sign, delete, edit contributions with a certificate of practice, and have control over the certificate of community of practice, except for that they may not delete a topic, nor they can delete a certificate copy of, nor can they delete a community of practice. Community administrator. The community administrator is rarely needed inside a community of practice. By default, no permissions are assigned to this group. However, the group can be customized and permissions needed to delete a topic and delete a community of practice. If certain guidelines are met, and in most all cases, the duties are best left for the chief editor group because the potential to serve the harm community's knowledge base. Chief Editor. The Chief Editor Group is reserved for the sole use of the Defensive Acquisition, University Acquisition, Community Connection support team. Only those on the support team can become a member of this group. However, not all the members of the Defensive Acquisition Acknowledgement team are members of this group. This is the most powerful group within the application and can perform all the functions defined for any of the groups listed, plus additional functions not defined here.